Hello, yellow, hello, hi, it is I. This time did you and these every internet and akastracha and back allow yella, please subscribe, please like, please do comment, share, let your I really thought going into the next year we were gonna be like, okay, we have some like 400 people here for chats. Good night. I'm still in bed because I've never really gotten out of bed today, and the time is probably closer to 5. Just been in and out, not really. I didn't even have a hangover and I drank like crazy yesterday. I'm drinking like crazy actually the past few weeks because life is life, and guys, what's the time, man? No. Oh my god, I feel like a good person. It's 15:41. It's not 5, is it? I've been trying to like wrap my thoughts around, figure out what chat I want to have with you guys because deep down inside, I want to be responsible with these women's feelings. Yo, guys, I hope I was covered with, with how vulnerable they decided to be with us 2 weeks ago or over a week ago. Two women went viral on our socials, and both of them have a good social media presence, so they're not strangers. One of them being Miss XO. She's got a lot of subbies here on YouTube, and she obviously like is on other platforms as well. Does a lot of lifestyle content, and one of them is Lungi or Lungelwa. It's not no Lunge lo le. Doesn't matter, Lungi. Her name is Lungi. I think I might be wrong. She's a former beauty queen and she does some content now and stuff. And they're both people who like to be vulnerable. That's Lungi more so. Miss EXO, yes, but her content isn't centered around vulnerability. Lungi's is for me, letting us in, being raw. I feel like seeing Black women in this capacity can be unsettling for a lot of us who've been brought up by very stoic Black women, and I believe that's the majority of us. We've just been brought up by women who go and go and go, and like them bogotos, and they just, they go, they don't stop to cry. So whenever we see people being so vulnerable, it's unsettling for a lot of us because it also forces us to confront a lot of things that may be happening within ourselves, that we may have experienced, that we dare not verbalize because we've not been permitted to. And permitted literally comes from you haven't seen it done around you, so you don't know it's allowed. You feel you don't have permission to show up in this way, especially as a Black woman. I feel, right? I went through what these women are going through. I felt a lot of things watching both of them. And one of them is part of it was cringe. Like, ooh, I wish you would not have said that over here like that. And then I'm like, why am I feeling like this? Like, why are these my feelings where I feel like I'm like, I really wish you'd not have said that out loud or on here. I believe in feeling what you must and naming what you're feeling. I come on here and I share a lot with you guys as well in terms of some things that I might be going through. And maybe I don't see myself as vulnerable as maybe what Lungi is, mostly because by the time I come and share with you guys, I've worked through, it's not as raw. I don't know, but like I was like, on both, you know what? Let me attach. I'm gonna play their videos one after the other. One of them is like, both of them are about 2 minutes long, and then we're gonna come back and have a proper chat. Cool.
I think more than anything, thank God my relationship brought me closer to God. Bless. My relationship brought me closer to God. But also, it's that thing of, am I not worthy? Like, am I not worthy of having something or having someone that is mine? Bless the beauty of friendships. Oh my God, I truly love it. And every day you think or you see the one thing that you're yearning for, the one thing that you absolutely would love to have, and God takes it away, and then you're just like, but why? Why put me through so much heartache? Guys, I'm 29 years old. No, I'm 29 years old. care what anybody else is. This is where they say money can't buy you happiness. I really dipped it. I have everything. Own place. Own one. Have one now. You have a car. May not be the fanciest of cars. Takes me from A to B. I can walk in a fucking store and buy a 20K shoe. You can have all of these things. But like one thing that you are not getting, and you think you have so much faith in waiting, but it's so hard and it's so painful because you're just like, am I not worthy of it for it to happen to me now? You know what I'm saying? I yearn to come back home and I hear little kids making noise. You know, my husband's asking me, are you okay? How was your dance? Stuff like that. But you don't have that. And I feel like I've been going up and down Cape Town. I'm in Cape Town.
It's ridiculous that it's 4:36 and because I couldn't sleep around 2:30, I decided that I was gonna take a drive around Joburg just to declutter and figure out why I feel so sad. And on why I feel so fulfilled but also lonely at the same time. I'm fulfilled by the friendships that I have, the spaces that I go to, the things that I do. But when it comes to love or companionship, it just doesn't seem to be locating me. I keep having to suck myself in and out of, yeah, that he's coming and he might never come, because if my last reference of a proper relationship would be 7 years ago, and things got to give, and if how hard I work, no matter how many things I achieve, it's the one thing I struggle with. I hate having to walk in at home and realize how empty it is. I hate having to sleep in bed and not feel warm with the idea that all my emotions and thoughts I can only tell to my friends.
Do you see what I'm saying? Did you also experience, if you hadn't seen it yet, did you also experience the, I'm hoping they don't flag me for Lungi's thing, because she's playing that sound in the back with her video. So if you find that whenever you come back to this video, I've had to mute a part of it, it's probably that song that got me in trouble. And I probably have to now mute that part of the video. This is for future stuff, okay? I went through something like this with a friend of mine. You know what? I want to say it's before 2019, but I don't want to be wrong. But it's a few years for me now where I was experiencing this agonizing, just this painful, the state of loneliness that was just, it was truly unbearable. And loneliness, yes, but it was mostly a state of unworthiness, undeservedness of love, of affection, of being adored. And with me, my stuff always comes wrapped in, oh, she did her nails, honey. If you're new here, it's not the nails. I talk a lot with my hands. But nails done. How Barbie core of me. Oh my God, you guys can't even see properly. Like my tips are like pink. Like, oh, guys. Couldn't get what I was going through. I was biting my nails because it's the drink. I'm really, I'm reeling. I can't hear by me, guys, at all. And I was biting my nails terribly. So I went to do my nails. I tried to vlog the day, but so much happened. If I can find enough footage to stitch that stuff together, I will. I'm trying to call a friend of mine. I'm hoping he answers, because I was going through this with him, because I'll need him to confirm if this was, because I feel like it's before COVID, like right before. That's how I feel. I hope he picks up, because we both hate phone calls. He's not picking up. I was hoping you could confirm this for me. He's probably working. but we would sit around together and we would cry a lot about like, why not us? Like, why love? How come love doesn't want to locate us? We felt like we have so much of it to give, and oh, he's calling me back.
Right here, what we're gonna do is go.
Lokosha, Mola, ngwaola re ka lebakeng re khella o selekane le selo re khellela re banna ba re nyaki ke before COVID. Oscar said yeah, record ke before COVID because I don't want to get it wrong. Kelene?
During COVID.
Because I said during. It has be during.
Just before and in. Yeah,
oh, ke a re bona. So re thomana kwa bu 20. Yo, mkhwetsi, why does it feel like eons and eons ago?
It is 29. We're in 2024 now. That's like 5 years ago.
Oh wow. Okay, thanks, bitch. Bye. Bye. Apparently it was 2019. I literally thought it was like, also maybe because C19 happened earlier on for quite a lot of people, and then like the wave hit us much later in the year, especially here in Limpopo. Like we were fine until Magarapa came through here with the let me get back into the oh my god. If you're new here, I am long-winded. People diagnose me all the time, and I don't mind because I understand what they're experiencing and what they're seeing, and I know what you're gonna say is like the matter with me, and I'm fine with that. Okay, great. Rilla, guys, we were crying just like these girls were crying. What made it cringe? Not cringe. The word I want to use the word cringe, but it's almost like it's not cringe. I wanted to run over and knock off their cameras, both whatever recording devices they were using, knock them over and go shh, and then I give them a hug and hold them tight for the longest and let them just like let out the ugliest cry they could. Because I personally felt like the world did not deserve their vulnerability, and by extension, our vulnerability as Black women, because of how much we're always like being beat down on, get the softness beat out of us, being made to feel like not only are we not deserving of these things, like we've done something, we're the most undesirable. So when I see us being vulnerable in public spaces, in as much as I love seeing Black women be represented in all manner of ways, all facets of us, I love to see it. Sometimes I'm like, the world just has not earned our vulnerability. They've not earned it. At every fucking turn, they're doing something to us. That where we end up in these situations where we're so hurt, we can't even voice and say, I crave affection, I crave companionship, because it's always pathetic when we're saying it, right? We're always looked at as pathetic. So when I saw them, that thing that I'm describing as cringe was more so me saying, the world has not earned this. We don't deserve this part of you. And I felt like they were opening themselves up to predators, to men who are gonna show up in their lives after consuming this content about them, now knowing exactly what character to play in order to take advantage of them, because I do not put that past men. I felt like maybe go through this and then in hindsight, like make it a diary session months down the line when you're in a better spot about it and you can look back and even give us a different perspective, then put it out there. It's too raw. You're too in it. And oftentimes when I was in that place that I'm telling you about, that I just call my friend, I found that my sense of discernment wasn't off, but my eagerness to ignore my better nature would override that. The decisions you make to partner when you're operating from that place of desperation, because that's what that is, of just wanting to feel something and wanting that gap to be filled so bad. The decisions you make around that time can get very muddy. So don't give people ammunition. That's what a lot of you experienced when you watched them. Like, yo, kannetse re llela banna, kannetse re llela eng, 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 kannetse, negating the teachings that we get from the time we like exit through the birth canal. Literally, from the time we get here, we're told how we apparently come from another person's rib, and both of them are very religious. Miss Exo mentions that her relationship with this last person brought her closer to God. I thought that was sad. It's things like that where you guys, it sounds to me, and this is not just a Miss XO problem. You meet a person and you so desperately want them to be the picture of the Hallmark movie that you've been seeing. You start to morph yourself into something that you're not, right? Some of you become church girls. Some of you become cool girls. Some of you start, like, you understand? We do stuff to then morph ourselves into what we think this person is gonna want to wife. Why? You're operating from a place of desperation. And I'm not saying that getting closer to your deity of choice is a bad thing. But I would question, if I were her in hindsight, am I closer to God, or have I put on the performance of a relationship with this deity because this person liked this kind of girl? Is it then now time for me to actually work on my relationship with God? Because once you actually do that, and I'm not even a religious person, I don't even think this is just simply a religious thing. Lungi's another one who talks about God a lot and wanting a partner and stuff. The teachings of Christianity in particular, I find Christian women to be so desperate for marriage, for man, for that family thing, because the nuclear family is obviously a core part of the faith, even if people don't want to say that it is. And it's pushed a lot, and a lot of pressure is put on women to get married, such that you do end up turning off your sense of discernment and allowing any man that looks like he has a relationship with God to come into your life so you can fulfill that thing that you feel. Some people even feel like there's an obligation within the faith to get married and multiply as a way of being part of the faith. Like somehow getting that picture perfect is you being a faithful servant to God, or evidence that God sees you as his child and as a favorite, because marriage for women in faith is somehow a reward. Like they really view it like that. It's a reward by God. Like God is acknowledging that, oh, yeah, you've been good. Here, you get to have a husband. Y'all might want to work through that. I was Christian. I never thought God works like that. Then again, I've never been that desperate for marriage, or I don't want it at all. So maybe I don't understand it. But thinking how, because Miss Exo says, I'm like, am I not worthy or deserving? I ask God that. What about everything else though that you get, that you pray about and you get, and not the material stuff, but the other stuff? Why is that stuff not evidence of God saying you're worthy or deserving? Why is it always this one particular thing? And I often feel like women in faith in particular don't hear God that they claim that they do, right? That you actually, a lot of you in faith end up with bums who, especially in the church, who financially abuse you, right? All the while you're trying to still maintain the patriarchy that is such a core tenet of Christianity when you get married, of trying to make him look like the head of household, right? So you must minimize yourself and make yourself smaller and make like he's got, all the while being financially abused. A lot of you get caught up in that trap because you were operating from a place of desperation and not from a place of having faith in said deity. I'm not even Christian and I can preach this all day. It really, I don't get it. I don't get it. Are you actually, when you say your prayers, or when you speak to your ancestors, whatever the deity of choice is, as women, when we ask these entities for stuff, are we paying attention to the answers that we're actually getting? Or is it just, I want, and then you just like tunneled like that? That even when it's like tapping you on your shoulder, trying to say, hey, this isn't coming yet because you haven't figured out how to be alone yet. And we fear that if we give you this thing now, you'll hold on to it even when it doesn't prove to be useful anymore, which is what a lot of you guys do when you find yourselves in partnership. We overstay our welcome because we're more frightened at being alone. Sure, there's a social stigma that comes with that. I understand all of that. I really got carried away into the faith stuff now. So I'm going to try to reel this back based off just where I was and what I did to get out of that situation of feeling that sense of desperation. A lot of you, a lot of me, a lot of us, me, I was not spending time with the construct of partnership. I wasn't spending enough time deconstructing what it is the fuck I was crying about. In my last video, I said to you guys, I kept saying, yo, it's about happy. Other people get to have partners. Yo, it's about like I kept saying stuff like that. But I wasn't spending enough time looking at what it takes just by observation to have what is considered a successful partnership or a successful marriage. Once I spent enough time observing and really looking at what it takes, I realized that I don't have what it takes. The level of compromise and concession and all manner of things that women have to do, the kind of gymnastics and getting bent the fuck out of shape that we have to do in order to do that narrative building thing that I say, in order to present as if this relationship is this and not this. That stuff, I don't have it in me. I was over here bent in a corner crying for some shit that don't even exist. When I had to sit and look around and say, this man, this type of partner that you yearn for, because part of the yearn is feeling like other people have it. Hence you saying, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving. Why? You look around and it seems like everybody else has it. It must be me. Something must be the matter with me. Wrong. They're not having it. They're posturing as if that's what the fuck they have. Very few people have what it is that we say we want. Not forgetting how damaged we are by the rom-com. By the reality of what an actual successful relationship looks like. What equity within partnership, the reality of it versus the very popular teachings of the sprinkle stuff that is of today's culture. When you really sit down and have to come to terms with what it takes and what a modern successful a lot of you may have to come to the decision that, but this marriage thing, what is it really? A lot of you haven't spent enough time with that. You haven't spent enough time talking to married women. You keep crying for some shit that doesn't even exist. It's not real. You don't need to make the exception the rule. Don't tell me about your one little friend who has a man that's good to her. Look around you. Like, stop crying for a fucking second and stop and look around you. Idea. You're crying for a fantasy that doesn't exist. That's not even me invalidating your feelings. That's me saying we spend too much time crying and not unpacking what the constructs actually come with. I'm sorry, but we do. At least I did. Because when I had to really look and be like, okay, this is what is typically expected in this construct. What are my requirements? What do I need? I picked up a few things. My requirements are always made to seem like I'm asking for too much. I'm especially asking for too much for a person who looks like me. And then I should forget about those standards and just take what's being offered to me. maybe then I'm not getting what the fuck I want. And so I want out. And that's what got me through. I don't experience that. I don't experience it, guys. Like, once I did that work of really breaking down what my needs are and what is on offer on the market and realizing how incompatible I am with what's on offer. And that's why it wasn't coming to me. Because I was actively doing the work on myself, spending time with me, but this thing was still there bothering me. But all my other parts were working hard to repel all of this rubbish because my spirit, so to speak, already knew that I'm incompatible with the rubbish that the market has to offer. We grow up knowing that men are rotten made out of, like, we grow up singing, we know it. And then somewhere along the line, I think it's a spell, we get confused and we start thinking men are actually wonderful, magical beings. And I really don't even understand what happens to us. Truly, I think lawyer, it has to be a spell because it doesn't make sense. But the girls will cry. The girls are allowed to cry, but the girls need to cry in a safe space. I didn't feel that this was like responsible for either of them to do that. Because now people know what character to present to you when they come to you, because you're over here all sad and desperate and crying and just wanting to be married and wanting kids to run to you and your husband to ask you, how was your day? Your husband is not asking you how the fuck your day was. He's asking why you didn't cook. Are you listening to the married bitches? Like, do you have any married friends? Spend enough time. It's going to be harder if you're a woman in any Abrahamic religion because marriage is so like worshipped in those spaces. It's going to be harder for you to break down these constructs and realize that actually this is not going to work for me, or that it is going to work for you. But your methods of how you're going to go about finding it will not come from this place of feeling unfulfilled and just desperation and just like, I must. It's not going to come from that place. You'll have a full life, have meaningful relationships going on, and when it finds you, it will find you on your way, and it won't feel like you were missing a puzzle or it's coming to complete something. It will feel like a nice to have. The milkshake is still nice even if they don't put the sprinkles on top, but the sprinkles are cute to look at. That's what men are, the fucking sprinkles. Guys, I was gonna make this point when I was running through the thing in my head, so I'm coming back to add this now. It's not lost on me with these two, like these women in particular, even though this is a broader conversation for me, of how attractive they are. They've done what they've said you must do to get a husband. Miss EXO has even went under the knife, right, to make the alterations, to have the build and to keep her, her figure up. And this other lady is a pretty skinny girl, and I suppose when you play the game of beauty and what they say is gonna be the reward, I've seen it with women who look like they're more than average looking or below average or considered not as attractive. We is the average and below and the ugly ones. We seem to move past this quicker because nobody told us our whole lives that men are going to be fighting all over us and we're going to find a man to take care of us. We didn't get that same teaching. We didn't. Maybe that's how I was able to get over it quickly, because it registered with me quite quickly that, oh, you did not play the beauty Olympics, or you did not win. And these women have. And they're still not getting what is promised when you play this game. I have somebody I used to be friends with, and I feel like she's also struggling with that. Very attractive, no husband, no fucking kids, and it fucks with her. Fucks with her in a way that I wish she could sit down with herself and talk to herself exactly the degree to which it fucks with her, so that she could find some healing. But again, we don't feel permission to be vulnerable and name the things we're feeling, say why they're bothering us, sit in the discomfort of, I've been told I'm beautiful my whole life. I thought this path, this particular part of the terrain was going to be easier for me because I've done the stuff that they say to do. I'm beautiful. you know, I've done well in school. I've got a good job. I can afford my own this and I can afford my own that. By the way, don't ever stop being that girl. Where is the husband? Because I've done the stuff. I am actually deserving and worthy. Why am I not getting it? Because deep down, I've done the thing, making me inherently deserving and worthy. Where's my thing? Where is my prize? My highest prize? And that's a fucking husband. That's sad. That's fucking sad.